I'm increasingly coming to the point of view that Rahu is the most important planet in all of astrology. Rahu is the planet that has the ability to eclipse Sun and Moon, the king and queen of the horoscope, and is the single most important determinant of the nature and extent of success that an individual is likely to experience in the material world. Without the grace of Rahu, nobody can find success or riches in this world. All planets are in a state of constant motion in the zodiac, and understanding the transit of these planets is very crucial in understanding how a horoscope is going to function. On the 23rd of September 2020, Rahu transited from Gemini into Taurus, a sign where it will remain for the next 18 months. In this video, I'm going to look at how this transit of Rahu into Taurus is going to impact the destiny of India, Pakistan, and China. Pakistan is born under the sign of Mars. Mars is the single most important planet for Pakistan. Mars is the planet that controls the destiny of Pakistan. I've often spoken of the fact that Rahu and Mars have a very special relationship with each other in the sense that they hate each other. Rahu and Mars will bring destruction upon each other to whatever extent they can. Therefore, Rahu is not a good planet for Pakistan. Rahu is positioned in the second house of their birth chart. Sitting in the second house, it controls wealth, money, riches. Sitting in the second house, it aspects the sixth house of competition and the 10th house of profession. Therefore, both of these houses get negatively impacted by the influence of Rahu. This particular transit of Rahu for Pakistan's horoscope is happening in the 12th house from the birth position of Moon. A planet transiting 12th from Moon is believed to be in an inauspicious place. The 12th house is the house of suffering and loss and struggle, and it's a painful house. And whenever a planet is transiting 12th from Moon, you can be sure that that transit is likely to bring bad results. In any case, Rahu is a bad planet for Pakistan. So it's going to give bad results because this transit is also ensuring unfavorable results. And where will those results be? In the house of wealth and money and finances and riches, related to competition and related to profession. So they're going to lose out in global competition, and professionally they're going to take a beating. The next 18 months of Rahu through Taurus are not going to give Pakistan good results. They are headed into a world of trouble. Now let's look at China. China's horoscope has Capricorn in the ascendant, and Moon is positioned right in the middle of that house. Now, I've mentioned that Rahu is a planet that's not favorable towards Sun and Moon. Therefore, Rahu is not favorable towards the horoscope of China as well. But there is a point over here. Rahu is positioned third from birth Moon in the Lagna chart. Whenever a planet is positioned third from Moon in the Lagna chart or in the transit chart, it becomes favorable. And if it is an unfavorable planet for the horoscope, it becomes neutral. Therefore, Rahu for China's horoscope is neutral. It's not going to give very good results. It's not going to give very bad results. This transit for China is happening in the 5th house from the birth position of Moon. Taurus is 5 houses away from where Moon is positioned in the birth chart. Therefore, Rahu is 5th from the birth position of Moon. A planet 5th from Moon tends to become favorable. Rahu is favorable. This transit is not going to be unfavorable for China. Rahu is not favorable, it's not unfavorable for China in the birth chart. This transit is not unfavorable. If anything, it's going to be slightly favorable for them. Therefore, based on this horoscope, we can make a clear statement that this transit of Rahu through Taurus is not really going to impact the destiny of China to any significant extent. To understand what lies ahead for them, we need to explore their horoscope in much greater detail, something that I've done in an earlier video that you could revisit if you have that desire. Now, let's come to India. India's horoscope has Rahu placed right in the ascendant. Taurus is the lord of the ascendant for India, And the midpoint of our ascendant is at 7 degrees 45 minutes. And Rahu is positioned in Taurus in our birth horoscope at 5 degrees and 4 minutes. Whenever a planet is positioned close to the center of the house, it gives very powerful results. It becomes extremely significant. It becomes very, very relevant. Rahu is very powerful for India, and Rahu is very favorable for India. Now, this transit of Rahu into Taurus is actually a transit of Rahu back into the position where it was when India was first formed. Rahu has gone back into its birth position when this nation was formally created. Whenever a planet enters its birth position, it becomes extremely powerful, it becomes extremely significant. Therefore, Rahu is very favorable for India, it's very powerful for India, and its transit back into its birth position makes it incredibly powerful and significant and relevant for us at this point. Look at it from the position of Moon. Moon for India is positioned in the zodiac sign Cancer. Therefore, Rahu's transit is 11th from the birth position of Moon. Whenever a planet is placed in the 3rd house, the 6th house, or the 11th house from Moon, it immediately becomes favorable. That transit becomes favorable, it becomes benefic. And if that planet is favorable for the horoscope, it's going to ensure extremely powerful results for the chart. But Rahu is a planet of change, it's a planet of turbulence, it's a planet of chaos, it's a planet of upheavals. Therefore, it's not as though the next 18 months are going to be very peaceful and very settled and very relaxed. They are going to be turbulent. They are going to be extremely chaotic. But all of this turbulence is going to end up giving us good results in the long run because Rahu is good for India and this transit is favorable for our country. Of course, we need to look at a lot of other factors as well, the transit of Saturn and Jupiter and all the other planets, as well as the Dasha chart. But just understanding this transit of Rahu, we can see that this transit is going to be extremely important, extremely relevant and favorable for India. It's going to impact every aspect of our lives and is going to give favorable results in the long run. China is not going to be significantly impacted by this transit. To understand their destiny, we will have to look at their horoscope in much greater detail, something that I've done in one of my earlier videos that you could check. And as far as Pakistan is concerned, this transit is going to bring destruction. Financially, professionally, and in the area of competition, Pakistan's going to take a hit. The next 18 months are going to be significant. Rahu is going to play a lot of games that are going to impact our lives to a considerable extent.